Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2023-24 season. My name is Dan, and Onana is now in the game of FPL, coming in at 5 million. So I'm now finally ready to do the goalkeepers tier list. But where will he rank? Find out very soon, guys. If you do enjoy this one, please do drop a like and do subscribe if you're new around here as well. Let's have a look at this tier list. Alright, that was a pretty chaotic intro. Okay, guys, we've got 5 categories and we've got 30 goalkeepers. I've tried to make sure we've got at least one from each team to put in here. So, yeah, let's see how this goes. We're going to rush through some of these players and then talk a little bit more about some of the more important ones. We're going to start off with Fodringham of Sheffield United. So he's the number one goalkeeper for Sheffield United, 4.5 million. However, probably not going to go for a newly promoted goalkeeper at this junction. If we do, it's probably not going to be Sheffield United, and it's probably not going to be Luton Town either, so James Shea is going to go in here as well. Not even sure if Shea is going to be actually playing for Luton this season. Like last season, Luton actually loaned in a goalkeeper for the season. I can't remember what his name is off the top of my head. Came from Nottingham Forest, though. Horvath, I think. But anyway, yeah, Shea was on the bench for the majority of last season, so Luton actually don't really have a number one goalkeeper at the moment. Maybe it is going to be Shea. I don't know, but I'm going to put him in a void anyway. I think maybe they'll sign a new goalkeeper, to be honest. Speaking of new goalkeepers that have been signed, Burnley have signed a new goalkeeper, and it's Trafford. And I feel like there is potential here. I mean, I'm not sure it's a complete avoid. I probably wouldn't go for him personally, but I can definitely see a world where Burnley do keep a few clean sheets, okay in this league. Not really too many people are predicting Burnley to go down. A lot of people saying that they could have a really good chance of staying up, and therefore surely Trafford has to be in a similar category as some of the other relegation threatened teams, maybe like Jordan Pickford at Everton. Everton kind of often in the relegation battle. So is Trafford and Pickford actually kind of comparable? Maybe. It is a risky pick though. It's certainly not a solid pick, but I can see as a 4.5 million goalkeeper how this could be okay. Not really good, but like okay. So he's, for me, bottom tier risky, maybe high tier avoid, not really 100% sure. Muric, I think, is going to be no longer the number one goalkeeper for Burnley, and he's still 4.5 million, so I don't think he's going to be the number one anymore, so I'm going to put him in a void therefore. Next up, we've got Vicario of Spurs, another new goalkeeper to the Premier League. Lots of new goalkeepers so far in this video. The problem is, Vicario, very good goalkeeper, did very well last year in Serie A. The problem is, I think Spurs' play style doesn't really suit defenders. It doesn't really suit goalkeepers. It seems like Spurs are going to concede a few goals this season, particularly at the start of the season. So, therefore, do we really want to spend 5 million, quite a lot of money, on a goalkeeper where there's probably going to be playing for a team that is going to be, conceding a few chances, conceding a few goals? I guess you could maybe get save points, but clean sheets is what you want, really, isn't it? And you don't want to really have goalkeepers from those high-scoring teams. So, in that sense, I think he's an avoid. Well, there's better options at 5 million. I wouldn't really want to be spending that on a Spurs goalkeeper, I don't think. Neto, guess he's a risky pick, I guess. I probably wouldn't be picking him. I'm trying not to put too many players in a void. There's going to be lots of avoids in this video. But yeah, I mean, I guess you could go for him. I'm not totally convinced by that one. I feel like I'd rather go for Trafford than Neto, personally. But maybe that's because Trafford is kind of an upcoming young English goalkeeper, and maybe that excites me a little bit. Neto, not so much. So maybe we'll go Neto avoid. I'll keep Trafford in risky pick for now. Hennessy, he's a 4 million goalkeeper. What more do you want? Probably not going to get too many FPL points this season, but to be fair, Nottingham Forest don't have another goalkeeper at the moment, so he's kind of in here for no other reason other than just to include a Nottingham Forest player. But I don't know who is going to be the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper in the new season. They're linked with the various goalkeepers at the moment. They're probably going to sign someone. I guess he's like, I don't know, is he an avoid? He's just a 4 million goalkeeper. Do we took the 4 million goalkeepers? We'll just chuck him in solid pick, maybe? No, I'm going to put him in a void. Like, he's, as far as 4 million goalkeepers go, I'll probably pick someone else. We've got Johnson next. I feel like he could be a good pick, but is he potentially rotation risk with Guaita? I'm wondering about that. I don't know who's going to be the starting goalkeeper for Crystal Palace. Johnston, when he came in at the end of last season, really actually quite good, so I kind of like the idea of going for him. He's actually, if he's starting every game, he's probably one of my favourite 4.5 million goalkeepers, to be fair. So I think maybe Crystal Palace fans, you'll know a little bit more than me. Assuming Johnston keeps the number one shirt, the number one spot between the sticks, I think it's a solid pick. Next up, Verbruggen. I think this is an interesting one, a really interesting one. So those of you guys who don't know, Verbruggen is a new goalkeeper that Brighton have signed for £20 million. pretty expensive, young guy, upcoming goalkeeper, played for Anderlecht last season, and he is supposed to be very, very, very good indeed, a hot new goalkeeping talent. So with that money that they spent, does that mean that the other Brighton goalkeepers are no longer in the picture? You know, Sanchez fell out of favour. Steele, you know, they're like, I don't know, was Steele ever a long-term solution? I'm not sure. Is Verbruggen going to be the new number one? I feel like this is a risky pick until we know the situation of the Brighton goalkeepers. But if it pays off, this could end up being a really nice pick, because really nice opening fixtures for Brighton. But it has to be said that Brighton's fixtures do go downhill after that. So from sort of game week 4 onwards, the fixtures are not great for Brighton. And if you think of goalkeepers are typically players you don't want to spend your transfers on, you don't want to waste transfers on goalkeepers, then maybe that is another thing you do need to consider before going for a Brighton keeper. There's lots of risk there, basically. Guaita, I think Johnston's got a much better chance of starting the season, so therefore I think Guaita is too risky to go for. I'm not even sure if he's going to start. Jose Sa, at an unfortunate price, really. At 4.5, you maybe go for him. 5 million, there's just too many better options at the same price. Got Henderson, Dean Henderson, going to be an avoid for now, unless he maybe gets a move to Nottingham Forest. I'm sure Nottingham Forest still want to bring him back to the club. Hasn't happened yet, though, so for now, Henderson is going to go in as an avoid. Kepa at 5 million, I guess you could. I don't hate it. I feel like it is a little bit risky, considering we don't really know how good Chelsea are going to be in the new season. But Kepa did quite well at times last season, and at 4.5 million, he was a great pick. But at 5 million... maybe a little bit of risk there. So let's put him in the risky pick category. We've got Sarkic. He's a 4 million goalkeeper. What more do you want? Probably not very much. No, I do think he's probably going to go in the avoid category, to be fair, just because if you are going to go for a Wolves backup goalkeeper, it seems like Daniel Bentley is the one to go for. There's a chance that Daniel Bentley could get a little bit of game time. There are kind of talks about him becoming the new number 1 goalkeeper at Wolves. So therefore... yeah, maybe you go for Daniel Bentley instead of Sarkic. But Sarkic's still a decent goalkeeper. Maybe he gets a chance. Not really too convinced. Travers, another 4 million goalkeeper. Let's just stick them all together. They're probably not going to get too many points. But look, if you need a 4 million goalkeeper, I probably wouldn't go for any of these guys. I'll probably go for, like I said, I'll go for Bentley, or we'll go for another goalkeeper who we're going to talk about soon. Next up, Flecken. I want to put him in great pick. I really do want to put him in great pick. My issue is, Raya is still at the club. So Flecken, like I say, he's been given assurances that he's going to be the new number 1 goalkeeper. Raya doesn't even want to be at the club. He wants to go elsewhere. But Raya is still at the club. He hasn't been sold yet. So therefore, Flecken still has that tiny bit of risk. I do think he is going to be the number 1 goalkeeper for Brentford. I'm going to put him in great pick. I do think he's the best 4.5 million goalkeeper at this moment. I would like to see Raya leaving the club before we fully commit to this one, though. But we've still got a few weeks until the FPL deadline, so we're all good in that regard. Fabianski, I feel like it's kind of risky to go for a West Ham goalkeeper this season. The good thing is that Fabianski does pair well with 4 million Areola, but I'm just not really sure what's going to be the goalkeeping situation there, and I'm also not really sure how well West Ham are going to do defensively in the new season. I'm kind of curious about that one. I guess that will be, we'll see that soon, but for now, it seems like a bit of a risk. There seems to be safer options from clubs that have proven themselves a little bit more over the last year or so. So Sanchez and Steele, I feel like I'm building up the avoid section too much. Maybe I'm being too harsh here. Should we move some players up? Let's bring Neto up into risky pick. And maybe we put Vicario up into risky pick as well. So we can easily drop in Sanchez right in there with, I don't know, Steele. I mean, technically could still be the goalkeeper for Brighton. I mean, he ended last season pretty well, but just don't think it's worth the risk personally. So I'm going to put him in an avoid as well. Forster got a few starts last season at the end when Lloris, decided that it was never going to play for Spurs again. But is he going to get much game time this season? I probably would not be looking to waste a Spurs slot on a backup goalkeeper, to be honest. So I feel like he is an avoid, but we need to move some players up. Well, we're packing out the avoid section too much, and we're being too harsh here. So, all right, let's move. Is there maybe like a 4 million goalkeeper we can just throw up to, like, okay? Because to be fair, like, if you're going for a Travers or a Hennessy as your 4 million goalkeeper, you're not expecting them to get any points. You're not really using up a slot on a team that you're likely to want to have that triple up on. So therefore, actually, players like Travers or Hennessy, I guess they're okay to go for. So let's just put them in solid picks. Solid for a backup goalkeeper. Like, they're fine, right? Sarkic, I'm going to leave there just because I do prefer Bentley. So, no real reason to go for Sarkic when you do have Bentley right there. But anyway, guys, we do need to put Forster somewhere. And I'm going to put him down here. So he's an avoid. Martinez up next. Emi Martinez. I feel like he's a fairly decent pick. Of the 5 million goalkeepers, I think he would be up there for me. I think he's a solid pick, a solid option for the new season. So let's put him in there. We've got the new man. He's only been in the game for 24 hours and he's already at like 10% ownership. People are enjoying Andre Onana. He is the new hype goalkeeper of the year. But is he a must-have? Probably not. I do think he's a great pick, though, so I'm going to put him in the great pick category. I'm not quite prepared to have him in the must-have category. I think there are options this year to go for a couple of different goalkeepers. There's a few options, which is good, which is something we really like, but he's certainly one of the better ones, if not the best goalkeeper choice right now at 5 million. Manchester United keep a lot of clean sheets. His goalkeeper is obviously very, very good. Champions League finalist, really good save percentage typically as well, so that's really nice from him. Leno at 4.5, really solid goalkeeper, but I feel like going for a Fulham goalkeeper is risky. I'm going to put him in and around just above the likes of Trafford and Neto, I think. Alisson up next. I guess it's risky to spend that much money on a Liverpool goalkeeper, but I guess you're going to get semi-regular clean sheets. You're going to get the odd save point. You know, we've seen Liverpool having to be, you know, forced to make a few saves in the past. You're probably not going to get too many bonus points. I feel like it's an okay pick. A little bit too expensive for me. I'm not really keen on spending that much money on a 5.5 million top tier goalkeeper. I think you can get similar points from a lot of 4.5 million goalkeepers. We see this every year pretty much recently. A lot of the 4.5 and 5 million goalkeepers will outscore the 5.5 million goalkeepers just because goalkeepers at the big teams don't have to make too many saves. They're not going to get bonus points because it's all of the forwards who are getting all the bonus points for all the wonderful goals they score, and you don't have much to do typically. So in that sense, I am not keen on the 5.5s in general. If I am going to go for a 5.5, it's probably not going to be Alisson, but I guess he is a solid pick. I guess he's just, you know what you're getting from him at the very least. Raya, bin. Right in the bin. Avoid. Don't spend 5 million on him. I mean, to be fair, top scoring goalkeeper of last season. Quite insane, actually. However, he doesn't want to be at the club. He's rejecting contract offers. He wants a new challenge. He wants to win silverware. Let's see if he ends up leaving the club. But, you know, as much as the high points total has made Raya a very, very popular goalkeeper, I think a lot of people are going to be very disappointed when they see Flecken in net and not Raya when Brentford open up the new season. So, yeah, let's see what happens there. But, you know, there's going to be a few surprises when Brentford rock up against Spurs and Raya is nowhere to be seen. Where's my goalkeeper? I picked Raya. Where is he? I don't know. He's gone. Next up, Nick Pope. A little bit risky for 5.5. Not too keen on spending that amount of money for these opening fixtures. He's a decent goalkeeper. We're expecting Newcastle to keep clean sheets, but 5.5 is a lot of money, and the opening fixtures aren't great. So maybe Pope could come in potentially on your first wild card, for example, but he wouldn't be up the top of my list at that price right now, because I would rather go for Ederson. And I know you guys are going to hate this, but I'm going to put him in a solid pick. I think, you know, a lot of people are talking about going for John Stones, or, you know, maybe going for Guardiola when he arrives, or, you know, various other Man City defenders. I know a lot of people want to go for Akanji for some reason, but my point is, Ederson massively outscored all of the other Man City defenders in FPL last year, and the reason is because he's nailed. He's going to play every single game for Man City, particularly at the start of the season, and therefore you don't need to worry about anything. You can pick up your 6 points for clean sheets every week, and that's fine. We have some really nice fixtures for Man City at the beginning of the season. I would not be surprised to see Ederson score, you know, 6 points this week, maybe 2 points the following week, and then 6, 6, 6, 2, 6, 6, 6, 2, something like that. Those kind of patterns of points, which is absolutely fine during this period of the season where there are some really nice fixtures there. So, yeah, top goalkeeper, going to get you regular clean sheet points, not going to get you too many save points, not going to get you many bonus points. It is a boring, kind of low-risk goalkeeper to go for, really. There are more exciting options to go for that will get bonus points and get save points and all of this stuff. One player who that probably is not going to be is Jordan Pickford, who I am going to put in the risky category. Yeah, probably doesn't even make my top 5, 4.5 million goalkeepers, to be honest. Yeah, look, Pickford, like, he's a decent goalkeeper, don't get me wrong, really good for England as well. But the problem is with Everton is that they are just not great. They concede a lot of goals. They concede a lot of shots. When Sean Dyche came into Everton, a lot of people said, hey, this is going to change everything. Sean Dyche, great defensive manager. The numbers are going to change completely. We're a top defensive unit now. It didn't happen at all. Everton's numbers didn't really change at all. Pickford, really, really low scoring goalkeeper in FPL last season, both before Dyche arrived and after Dyche arrived. So unless you think that Everton are going to be a completely new team this year, then Pickford is probably not the best goalkeeper to go for, in my personal opinion. But I know a lot of people disagree with me on that one, so I'll leave that to you guys. Where do you think Pickford should be, in your personal opinions? Do you think he's a great pick? Is he a solid pick? I don't know. For me, it's really, really risky to go for. He's not quite an avoid, but he's definitely risky. Next up, Ramsdale, who I am actually not as keen on as a lot of other people are. He's currently the most popular of the starting goalkeepers in the entire game. We've still got one more to go after this, but Ramsdale, very, very popular goalkeeper. Everyone's going for him. My issue is with Ramsdale, and the reason I'm going to put him in risky pick. I'm going to put him pretty high in risky pick, but I'm still going to put him in risky pick. In isolation, Ramsdale is a good pick. He's going to get saves. He's going to get clean sheets. This is going to be very, very nice indeed. My issue with Ramsdale is that he locks you out of an Arsenal slot. Now, like I said kind of earlier in the video, typically we don't want to be wasting our transfers on goalkeepers. So, therefore, when you pick Ramsdale, you're stuck with him. You're pretty much stuck with him. So that means if we start seeing, Zinchenko do really well, getting those FPL points, or Gabriel, scoring goals from set pieces, or we see Martinelli erupt, or Ødegaard's doing really well. You're locked out of these players. You can't get them because you've already got Saka in your team. You've already got Jesus in your team. So you can't easily access other Arsenal players. And Arsenal have phenomenal fixtures at the start of the season. Everyone in the FPL world is feeling very, very positive about Arsenal players. We're going to want to have a triple up on those Arsenal players, but we want to make sure we have the right triple up. I would not be cutting corners. I would not be compromising. And I feel like, I know a lot of people have Ramsdale and Luke Shaw as a combo, for example. I prefer the Onana and Gabriel combo because it allows you a little bit more flexibility in the starting 11 when you're trying to pick your Arsenal players, when you're making transfers. But you also get a good goalkeeper, and you also get a good defender there, and you save 0.5 million. So, there's a lot of benefits to doing it that way. I'm not saying my way is the right way, but that's just the way I would be doing it, I think. And finally, guys, we've got one more goalkeeper. The most popular goalkeeper in FPL right now is Alphonse Areola. And he's a must-have. No, I'm just joking, guys. Super, super popular. He is the bench boy of choice. I think he's a solid pick. I don't think you can go too wrong with this. He's my favourite. In fact, I'm going to put him in a great pick. I think he's a great pick. Really, really good option if you just want to have that cheap goalkeeper on the bench. There's a good chance he gets some game time. There's talk about Areola maybe displacing Fabianski, who is like 38 years old now. Crazy what a long career he's had. So absolutely amazing. But it could be time for Areola to start getting a little bit more game time for West Ham. And at 4 million, if you can get a little bit of game time for him, even if he's on your bench, you can maybe chuck him in and start him occasionally in your FPL team, which would be really nice to have that opportunity, to have that option. So yeah, I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen, but I'm saying there's a chance. And in the 4 million goalkeeper category, there's not really too many goalkeepers that do have a chance. We don't have a Ward this year. We don't have a Ben Foster like we had the year before that as well. We don't have a 4 million goalkeeper really that is really super likely to start. So Areola is kind of the best of a bad bunch. Also mentioned Daniel Bentley, another player who could get some game time. So Areola, Daniel Bentley, those two guys, I like them as your 4 millions. And that, guys, actually concludes my tier list. I'm pretty happy with this. I wouldn't say there's any goalkeepers that are must-haves. I think there's different ways of doing things. There are lots of decent options. Even the risky picks, I think there's nothing wrong with going for a risky goalkeeper because sometimes, you might just get the save points and you might not get too many clean sheets and actually things might go fairly well for you. So the risky picks are fine in goal. It's one of those positions where most of the goalkeepers score a similar amount of points anyway. There's not going to be a huge gap between like the best and the worst goalkeeper compared to like the best and the worst forwards. There could be 150, 200 points difference between those two players. With the best and the worst starting goalkeepers, you're probably not going to see it too much of a difference, to be fair there. So yeah, definitely keep your mind open with what kind of goalkeepers you want to go for. But for me personally right now, Onana, Flecken, Edison, Martinez, those kind of four would probably be my favourite goalkeepers to go for right now. I like Ramsdale in isolation, but like I say, he does block you out of those other Arsenal players, so therefore he is going to stay in the risky pick category. And there we go. That is the tier list. What do you think? Have I got it right? Do you agree? Is there anything I've done terribly, terribly wrong? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching this one, guys. Make sure you do drop a like. Really does help out the channel so much. And maybe we'll do some more tier list videos. I love making them. I just find these fun to make. So maybe we'll do a few more of different categories after this one. So let me know if you'd like to see that. What kind of tier list you'd like to see in the preseason. Because I think we could probably do a few more. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed. Notifications on it so you don't miss a thing. Check out Fantasy Football Hub as well. Link in the description. They've got 50% off their subscriptions right now. And you get your money back if you win your mini league as well. So yeah, you could get it for free if you win your mini league. Pressure's on, guys. But that's it. Thanks so much for watching once again, and I will see you later, mates. Bye bye.